Welcome to Crunchy Stewardship. I'm Chrissy Rombach.
And I'm Katie Fiola-Jones. We're cousins on a mission to honor God by stewarding our health spiritually, mentally, and physically.
From ancestral nutrition and natural remedies to biblical finance and holistic health, we are digging deep into how God intended us to live.
So grab yourself a raw milk latte and join us as we unpack the ins and outs of Crunchy Stewardship.
Hello there, our wonderful Crunchy family. I didn't really think about what I was going to say, but welcome. We're back with our third episode of the year. That feels significant, I think. Chrissy and I have been, just having fun doing these first few episodes of the year. And I hope you have been having fun with them as well. We would love to hear from you on any of our episodes. If you're listening to them on Spotify, you can leave us a comment on the episodes. And if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, you can leave us a rating and review. And we really would appreciate if you took the time to do that. It helps us. It gives us encouragement, totally. But it also helps others find us better. So that would be awesome if you could go and do that for us. It's a quick little shout out. But we're here with another episode, and we start off our episodes with a random revelation of the week. And I shared last time, so Chrissy, that means you are up to bat.
Yes, my random revelation, you could actually bat with it, kind of, sort of. I wanted to talk about micro movement snacks. Essentially, the idea is when you're sitting for long periods of time, sitting for more than an hour at a time is so bad for your health. It decreases your metabolism. It decreases your abdominal strength, your back strength, your leg strength, things like that. And so it's really important to be getting up and moving around frequently throughout the day, even if you have a desk job. And I've found myself, now that I work in home health, I go to the office in the afternoons to chart after seeing all my patients, and sometimes I'll end up sitting for 4 hours just charting. And by the end of it, I actually feel like I got hit by a train because my body's just so tired of sitting. And so that is where these movement snacks come in. Essentially, it is 30 seconds to 5 minutes of just movement. Whatever it is, you get up, you can do a lap around the office, or you could do 10 squats, 3 pushups, jumping jacks. You could do shadow boxing, sometimes a little bit of mountain climbers, some sit-ups, anything like that. You literally just get up out of your desk and you go into the middle of the office and you do it. And I do it. Nobody has actually looked at me weird yet, which I'm kind of happy about and also quite surprised because it's not like our office is very busy. There's not a ton of people around, so maybe no one has seen me do push-ups just randomly in the middle of doing my work, but I will literally be sitting or standing at my desk. I actually find it easier to do these micro snacks or movement snacks when I'm at a standing desk rather than a sitting desk, but when my page is loading and it's just being annoying, I'll just turn around and do a push-up and come back and boom, the page is loaded. And it's kind of great. It keeps me motivated to get my work done and keeps my heart pumping a little bit faster, keeps me warmer. Because let me tell you, when I'm sitting in the office and I'm not doing these, I get so incredibly cold just because the air is blowing on me the whole time. And so just doing a random push-up every few minutes or so actually keeps me warmer. So that's my random revelation of the day, is the benefit of movement snacks when you're working throughout the day instead of food snacks. You do movement snacks.
Yes. Well, when you originally said snacks, I got excited because I thought we would talk about food, and then it wasn't about food. But still, I really like that. I think that's a really fun little tidbit. And, back in Colorado, Wes actually had this whole routine of basically exactly what you're saying, but I don't think he would have called them movement snacks. That just doesn't sound like something Wes would use. But he actually had a checklist of getting, I think his goal was so many push-ups in the day done or so many pull-ups. He had a pull-up bar in his office at the time. but his goal was to get so many done in a day. And so he divided it out of like how many push-ups or pull-ups or sit-ups or whatever he was trying to do, how many he had to do every hour. And so I think he had like an alarm set to remind him on the hour or something along those lines. And he was doing it pretty frequently for a while. So, and it worked out really well. And it was a great way. Yeah, actually he did. So he started it when we became foster parents because as many parents will know, and if you're not a parent yet, you will soon find out that you no longer have free time. You no longer have time to yourself when you were a parent. And so going to the gym is extremely difficult. And we found that out the hard way when we became foster parents, and we just couldn't go to the gym really, like at all. And so he was using that as his workouts throughout the day. And yeah, he had like a checklist. And so if you work well with checklists, that's my additional tip on top of Chrissy's movement snacks is to plan out your snacks with a little schedule. And if you're a checkbox kind of person, which I am, I love checkboxes. That could be a good way to get you going. But I really like that idea, Chrissy. Thanks for sharing that little tidbit for the day.
I am just waiting for my coworker Tom to walk by and look at me and be like, "What are you doing?" Or my manager. That would be even better. If my manager walked by and I'm doing push-ups, she'd be like, "Please explain."
I'm taking care of my health. We're in a place where where we are trying to keep people healthy.
Exactly. I think everybody should get down and give me 10.
Yes.
You know what's actually wild is I saw a 95-year-old patient today, and he told me, I don't know if this is true. His son told me he's kind of bluffing a little bit, but he told me he could still do 10 push-ups at 95 years old.
Wow.
And part of me low-key believes him because he does have a pull-up bar in his bathroom, like at his bathroom door. And I said, I wonder if he legitimately could still do this.
That's like RFK. Have you seen his like pull-up challenges and stuff?
Wild.
I don't actually know how old he is, but it's like really impressive for anybody at any age, but he's much older. And yeah, it's really impressive.
RFK is 71 years old.
Wow.
And he can still do pull-ups. I need to get on that. I've never been able to do a pull-up.
I've been able to do like one in my life, and that was I think that was like in high school. That's it.
Like peak exercise is high school.
Yeah, that's crazy. Pull-ups are not something that I strive to be able to do. I feel like that's definitely like it should be probably something that I strive to do. But I feel like it's one of those goals that a lot of men typically have of like, yeah, I want to be able to do a really good pull-up. Because Wes definitely was that way for a while where he was like really trying to get solid pull-ups in when he had his pull-up bar. But yeah, it's not something that I'll do push-ups and I love sit-ups. But yeah, not really wanting to do pull-ups. I don't know.
The only thing I would like them for is like grip strength. You know, being able to open a pickle jar after my husband closes the pickle jar. Wild.
Wild, Chrissy. So wild.
Wild. Can't do it. It's impossible.
That's why you have husbands in the first place, is to open the pickle jars and to close them. And then you just don't need to do pull-ups. There you go.
Or I could be self-sufficient.
Yeah, who needs husbands?
No, that's not worth it. I like my husband doing things for me.
It is quite nice.
It is.
Anyway, we are not here to talk about pickle jars this entire episode, nor are we going to talk about pull-ups and your movement snacks. I was like, what kind of snacks are they? Snacks, movement snacks. We are here to talk about personal care products, and I'm excited that we're doing this episode, and I feel like it's kind of surprising that it's taken us this long to get to doing like an episode along these lines, because I often find that behind food, this is an area of wellness that people tend to ask me recommendations on. That and cleaning products. We did do an episode a while ago on cleaning products. So if you are curious, to know some of our recommendations and tips on cleaning products, you can go check out that episode. They're always evolving. So even at that, like I would even venture to guess that some of those recommendations we made have already changed for me because I love trying new products all the time. But in this episode, we are going to talk through personal care products, and we're going to kind of break it down as to what are some guidelines for what to look out for in your personal care products, why we recommend some of those guidelines, why the things that we're mentioning might be harmful to your health. And then from there, we'll talk about some of the products that Chrissy and I actually use or maybe have used in the past and would recommend, or maybe we don't recommend. We'll let you know. And then at the end, we're actually going to share a few apps for your phone that you can use to help you on your own journey to finding any personal care products that are best suited for you, that will help you find out if there's any of these kind of toxins in the products. So yeah, that way you don't have to remember all of it, but at least you kind of get a breakdown as to what is bad and why. And then you can use those apps to help you find the products. Yeah. Okay, Chrissy, why don't you get us going? Why don't you get up to bat again? Using my baseball references. Look at me, sports. Guys, I'm awesome. I don't know. I'm tired. Okay, sorry. I have to just say this because then everyone will understand. Maybe you'll understand. At least I feel like it's a little bit of an excuse. I started potty training Malachi this week, and it is just one of those things that I didn't expect to be as exhausting as it is, but it is. I feel so tired. It's kind of like after a day of traveling where you're just sitting on an airplane all day, but you feel so tired at the end of it. That's how I feel because we're not doing anything. We're literally not leaving the house, but I feel so tired and I just don't have all of my wires firing properly in my brain. So if I say something that is just ridiculous, that is why. Okay, Chrissy, you need to start talking now.
Okay, I'm going to start talking now, and I'm going to tell us about general guidelines and things to look out for when you are determining what personal care products to use. So when you look at the back of any personal care product, whether it's all natural or all horrible, likelihood is you're not going to understand a single word that's on the back of it because first off, for most things, half of it's in French, which I don't really understand why, because French is not the secondary language in America. It's Spanish. But half of it's in French, and the other half of it has a lot of words that end with OL, like glycol and glycerol and something all the alls. But anyways, so with that, it's hard to understand the back of a shampoo bottle or a lotion bottle in general. But there are a few words that you can highlight and be able to pick out from these really long lists of a lot of words that you can't read. And in order to determine if this product has not great things in it or if it has mostly pretty decent things in it. So, three of the things that are very specific that you can easily look out for. The first one is dyes. Any kind of dye. Red dye 40, blue 3, yellow 4, something like that. All of these are listed on the back of shampoo bottles and other personal care products. And just like they're not good for your body if you are eating them, it's the same if you're putting them on your skin because our skin is super porous. It's not your hands get wrinkly when they get wet. Your hands absorb lotion. So whatever you put on your skin is going to get in your body and into your bloodstream for the vast majority of things, unless it specifically is designed to not do that, which most personal care products are not designed that way. So in the mindset of personal care products, assume it's going to seep through your skin and into your bloodstream. And so you definitely don't want any sort of dyes in your personal care products because those easily seep through your skin into your bloodstream and can cause toxicities within your body. Another one that is a big concern is parabens and phthalates. It will literally, if you look on the ingredients list, it literally says paraben and it literally says phthalate. That is Phthalate. Phthalate. Hard to say, but fun to say once you learn how to say it. Those two are endocrine disruptors, and so they can mimic estrogens in our body and then therefore decrease natural estrogen and mess up progesterone. And for men, increased estrogen will decrease testosterone and decrease sperm production and effectiveness. So definitely important to avoid those ones. And then the third one that's really important to watch out for is fragrance or any other word that sounds like fragrance, like parfum or perfume or fragrant or natural fragrance. Even if it says natural, as we have learned from natural flavors, it's not always natural because the natural part of it could be like derived from natural gas, which you don't want in your body. But most of us have in our bodies anyways because of the world we live in. So anyways, those are the three biggest things that you can easily look at the back of a shampoo bottle or lotion bottle or whatever and see, okay, does it have any dyes? No. Does it have any parabens or phthalates? No. Does it have any fragrance? No. Okay, boom, already on a great trajectory here. So yeah, that's what the three biggest things that I would say are important to look out for. Can you think of any others, Katie, or anything you wanted to add on to that?
Well, I wanted to talk about like why some of these things were even put into our personal care products in the first place, because I had a discussion with a friend recently who asked a really good question after I mentioned about parabens and the phthalates and stuff. And she was like, well, if these are so harmful, why are they putting them in our shampoos and lotions and all these things? And they have served a purpose along the lines for the manufacturers specifically. And I guess you could kind of say for the customers, because so there are synthetic chemicals that basically do things like enhance the texture of the product. So like when you have lotion that's like really silky smooth, oftentimes it will have some of these chemicals in it versus something that is more natural might go on and kind of go away really quickly and almost get like absorbed into your skin pretty quickly. Whereas like if you've ever had or tried a Bed Bath and Beyond, or not Bed Bath and Beyond, gosh, Bath and Body Works product, you know that feeling of putting on one of their lotions and it kind of leaves like this, it's a really satisfying feeling that it leaves on your skin. It feels moisturized, but oftentimes those are like the chemicals that are still like staying there on your skin. And so it enhances the product and it preserves the shelf life and all that kind of stuff. So
That's so funny that you say it makes your skin feel good. I always think my skin feels super slimy after I use like Bath and Body Works.
Now I feel that way, but that is the lotion I grew up on. I mean, we pretty much only had that lotion in our house. So I grew up feeling like that was what lotion was supposed to feel like. But now that I use a lot more natural skincare products, including like tallow-based products, it leaves a more satisfying nourishment to my skin. Like it literally feels like more hydrated longer. I feel like with the Bath and Body Works stuff, I would put it on, it would feel really good for a while, but I would need to put it on again later because it would almost like dehydrate my skin over time, which it makes sense because they're literally a synthetic chemical that you're putting onto your skin. So it would probably harm your skin over time. But they would put these in the products to preserve the shelf life because even though they're skincare products and they're not technically like food, they still have a shelf life because they are made with products that will go bad eventually. Everything kind of goes bad eventually. So you have to be careful about that. But yeah, you'll find it or another good way to tell if you have some of these, I think it's maybe the phthalates specifically. I can't remember which product or which chemical it is, but one of them is the one that makes things more bubbly. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, so when you're using a shampoo or like a body soap or even bubble bath, if you think about bubble bath, and you get all those suds, and it feels really satisfying because it's sudsing up so much. But when it's sudsing up so much, it's due to whatever that chemical is that is not good. And I don't remember what it is exactly, but do you know what I mean?
And I've also heard that like when it bubbles that much, it's also kind of like stripping your hair of its own natural oils that God put there to protect your hair. You know, like your own personal natural oils are really important to keep your hair moisturized, to keep it healthy, and to protect it from damage and things like that. But if you're stripping your hair from all of its natural oils by using these synthetic things, then your hair is just going to be brittle and dry and not shiny at all. And then they create additional products to add the shine back, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So part of me thinks that a lot of it is kind of a marketing scheme.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, if we create a scenario where they're going to need another product and another product, then we can just make all the products and then they'll buy all the products.
Mm-hmm.
And so
I
that's
also
my thought.
learned that with phthalates, they are the chemical that enhances the fragrance to last longer. So again, since we're picking on Bath and Body Works here, I always think about whenever I would put that lotion on and I would smell like sweet pea for so long. And you could still smell it throughout the day, where I'd be like, yum, I can still smell this beautiful, peachy lotion, and I would love it. But the phthalates specifically are the reason that those chemicals end up sticking around, or like the fragrances specifically. And that's oftentimes, Chrissy mentioned this, but the fragrances are made up of a lot of different chemicals. And oftentimes, if something does have the word fragrance or perfume in it, it will have a phthalate in it, because that's what creates the longevity of that fragrance. Whereas when you use something more natural, like an essential oil or even just the scent of like a lemon, it doesn't last as long, because again, it's like a food product or just something like natural from the earth, and it just kind of dissipates eventually. And so when you wonder why your laundry doesn't smell as good long term when you're using just essential oils to help make the scents, make it smell good, that's why. It's because it doesn't have the bad chemicals that make the scent last longer. So when you have something that has a really long lasting scent, you can pretty much guarantee that it has a phthalate in it. And that is not good for your endocrine system, and it will be sad.
Yes. I feel like I can always tell when somebody uses Pantene shampoo and conditioner.
Yes.
Anytime I give them a hug, I'm like, oh, you use Pantene. I can
Mhm.
tell. It like brings me back to college when I used Pantene religiously, as one would.
Yep.
But
Yep.
anyways,
Yeah,
Katie,
we've all been there.
Oh, yeah. What are some things that you're using now, or where are you going to figure out which products don't have all these chemicals in them? And then also, what products are you using?
Yeah. So first off, actually, where do I go to find out some of my product recommendations? I actually love going to Facebook groups and asking people, what products do you use? If they're specifically like a Crunchy Facebook group. And then you get all the people who all tell you their products. And oftentimes, yes, you will find that these products come with a pricier tag on them. They're much higher than the cheapy, fragrance-laden personal care products. So you just kind of have to keep that in mind. But it's good to know that there's products that are better for you, but also not extremely expensive. And you can find ones that are somewhere middle of the line when using an app like EWG. It's one of Chrissy's favorite apps. She can kind of talk a little bit more about that, because I know that you use that a lot. But I also use Bobby Approved. But then the one app that I've been using primarily for personal care products is one called Switch Natural. It is a paid app, so you do have to pay, I want to say it's like $19, and you get access to it for life. And I wanted to test it out a while ago, and I've been using it, and I actually really like it. So that's one that I've been using. They only do like personal care products or cleaning products. They don't do any food type items. So just in case you're looking for that, because EWG and Bobby do kind of all of that. But you use EWG more than me. Do you use that for your products?
Yeah, I do. And I have found that EWG on my phone is just kind of clunky and has a
Yeah.
really hard to use user interface. So I definitely use it on the computer more so, but I love it. You could just type in even just the brand of whatever product you're using, and they rate things on, I think with personal care products is like A to F, A, B, C, D, F. And you can essentially see like how well your product fares in relationship to other products. And they even will look at different scents because different scents and different fragrances affect our bodies differently. And so, and each product has different ingredients in it, whether you're getting the cherry blossom conditioner or the lavender conditioner. You know, those are two completely different smells, which means they're two completely different ingredients. So your body's going to react to them completely differently. And so, yeah, EWG, I really do love. The one thing I really love about EWG is you can go in and click on your product and it highlights exactly what ingredients are in the product, which is really beneficial for seeing, oh, this ingredient has this rating and here's why, and here's the research that has been done to inform their decision on giving each product that rating. And so I personally really love it because it's not just looking at a rating and taking it for what it is. I'm able to look at the rating and I'm able to go in and understand the why behind it and then make an informed decision as a consumer of, okay, is this a risk that I'm willing to take or is this a risk I don't want to take? Depending on how many ingredients in the product are bad or good and how bad or good the ingredients are. You know, if you're going through and most of the ingredients in the product are A's and B's and there's one ingredient that's rated a D, well, then overall, the product gets a C rating. Well, you can make the decision, is that D just like pulling down the overall rating, or is it something that I would actually really want to try because it got mostly A's and B's? Or is it that D is so strong that I just want to avoid it completely? And so I feel better about that I'm able to make a more informed decision about the products that I'm buying.
Yeah, makes sense. I often use all three of them too.
Does the Switch Natural app have a description of all the ingredients?
Yeah, so when I go into it, what I actually really like about this, because with Bobby approved and I think EWG, what you have to do is like scan the barcode of products. Do you have to do that with EWG?
No, I usually just type things in. But if I get it wrong, then I get really annoyed with myself because I can't figure it out.
Yeah.
I've never actually scanned anything with EWG.
So I always, like you said, the app for EWG is not great. The name of it isn't even like EWG. It's something like healthy living. So that's also first off confusing. Because I always type in EWG into my phone because I don't keep apps on my screen. I just like look for them. So that's first off annoying. Second, it's hard to use. And I often feel like I can't find the products that I'm looking for. The Bobby approved app, you do need to scan an item or you have to type it in. And if somebody hasn't input that item into the database, then they don't have the information about it. What I like about the Switch Natural app is you actually take a picture of the ingredients. And then they have like an AI system that can read the ingredients and then tell you what is good or bad about all of those. So it's kind of nice because you don't need to scan the barcode. You can scan things online. I often do that if I'm looking up a new product on Amazon or just on their website, and you can just take a picture of the ingredients and then it will tell you and give you a rating on each of them, or not necessarily a rating, but it'll highlight the ingredients that are bad. And then it will say why. They often flag things that are carcinogenic. So if they cause cancer or if they're known to cause cancer, that's one of their big things on that app. So yeah, I have really enjoyed it, but it's interesting between the three of them, they're usually not all on the same page. Oftentimes they'll slightly be on the same page, but then they'll flag different ingredients and chemicals differently. So EWG sometimes flags certain things that Bobby doesn't and that Switch Natural doesn't, and vice versa. And I just find that interesting. So oftentimes I do check all three just to see what they say. Yeah.
That honestly just sounds like a lot of work.
It is. I honestly have a problem. And I mean, Wes will tell you, I get into like analysis paralysis when it comes to buying new stuff. And if I'm not satisfied, like, well, we bought toothpaste a while ago, and I literally researched the heck out of toothpaste. And at the end of it, I was like, no, toothpaste is safe. And also was just really bummed out about the one toothpaste that I'm like, I feel like this one's good, but then it costs like $40 per tube or something. That's a little outrageous. But anyway, you get my point. It's, I get into it, and I have a whole spreadsheet that I have all of the different things that I've looked up and put in like their prices and their ratings from different apps and all the things. It's obnoxious, and it's my Enneagram 3 that comes out where I just need to like look at all the data and check it all off and analyze it. And it's just kind of obnoxious that I do it. I'm annoyed with myself.
I have to say, though, being somebody who benefits from your in-depth research, I do appreciate it.
Oh, well,
because then I don't have to do it myself.
Yeah. And that's why people come to me all the time where they're like, well, what shampoo would you recommend? And I'm like, well, this is what I'm using right now, but would I recommend it? I don't know. So if you're curious what shampoo I use, I switched back to a shampoo that I used to use for so long. And I actually switched to it first off because it is a shampoo bar and it has no plastic involved with it. So it comes in a box and you recycle the box, and then you have an actual bar of shampoo and you use it and rub it on your head just like a bar of soap, a regular bar of soap. It's shaped differently, but I started using that probably back in 2019. And I primarily switched to this brand. It's called Hibar, Hibar, all one word. I switched to it because I was just trying to eliminate plastic from my life, but more on like an eco-friendly side of things, not necessarily like a health side of things. I was like, I'm going to do no plastics in my life because it'll save the planet. So I switched to this shampoo bar then. And I switched away from it for a while after I started getting crunchy, and I looked it up, and it was not Bobby approved, and it was not EWG approved. And then just for giggles, one day I went and looked it up again, and now it's Bobby approved. And actually on Switch Natural, they have no reservations about both the shampoo and conditioner bar. But Chrissy, you mentioned the other day when we were talking about it that EWG has like a B rating or C rating for it, which I was kind of surprised about because I'm like, that's interesting that Bobby has switched its rating, and so has, well, I guess I didn't have Switch Natural originally, but Switch Natural doesn't have any reservations about it. So, I don't know.
Yeah. My thought is that maybe EWG is still looking at their old formulation instead of looking at their new formulation. Because usually EWG will say, like, in parentheses, the 2019 formulation of whatever product, which is helpful to know if the data is slightly outdated or if it's newer. But then the problem is you have to go and research, well, did they change the formulation between now and then? And I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. But worth it. Worth it. And once you find a brand or a product that you like, it's really easy to just stick with it, you know? You find one that's good, that you like, and works well, is healthy for you, stick with it, and you're done with the research. You just don't really have to do it anymore because you found something that's good. So,
the only warning I would give on that specifically is again, this is a lot of work too, just like you said, trying to be aware if a product or company has been bought by someone like Johnson & Johnson, for example, because at that point, then the product is kind of more in their hands. And I have heard of sad stories of such and such product was good, but then they were bought out by some big corporation and then they altered things slightly just so that they could make more money, because then they could keep charging the extremely high prices of these luxury brands, healthy luxury brands, and then change the formula to be cheaper so that they're making more money. And so I've heard that, but I have not personally seen it happen to anything that I have. But I've heard that it's happened to other people where, anyway.
That honestly makes me so mad. I hate that they do that.
Actually, this is another really random tip / thing that I learned recently. There are different recipes. So this is a food thing more so, but there are different recipes for food items that are sold at somewhere like Costco versus if you buy it at like a Kroger store because of bulk packaging and stuff. I don't really understand how it is, but I have learned. I don't remember what food it is. I think it's something under the Siete brand, so maybe a chip or a tortilla or something like that. But the Siete chips, someone posted this on Facebook that they're, and again, I don't actually know if it's Siete, I'm just using this as an example, but the recipe is different for their Costco one versus like just buying a small bag of it at like a Kroger or something like that. So that was a weird thing that I noticed as well. I don't know if that happens
Which
with
one's
personal
better
care.
for you?
I think the one not at Costco was better.
Oh.
So that's why it was like, oh, wow, it's exciting that you can now get it in bulk at Costco or something like that. And then it's kind of like, oh, gotcha, because it's a different recipe. And so that's kind of crazy. But
That's irritating.
Apparently the way that they do distribution and all this stuff, it has a longer shelf life maybe. And they had to put in some sort of something into it. Anyway, I don't know even if it was Siete. It was just a brand that happens to be healthier in general, but it was a food thing. So it's not personal care, guys, but just be aware of weird things like that. It happens. Crazy.
And it's annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I used to use the brand Acure, I think is what it's called, Acure. You and I were talking about shampoo the other day, and you mentioned your brand of shampoo, and I think I thought it was the same one, but I was looking it up again, and it was Acure. Acure. I don't even know if that's how you pronounce it, but they sell it at what's it called? Whole Foods, and also on Amazon. But I tried it because they were on super sale one time at Whole Foods, and one of my girlfriends bought it for me to try, and I liked it, and I used it for at least 6 months to a year, and then I switched back to my shampoo bar recently.
Nice. I've actually been using Attitude for my shampoo.
That's what it was.
Attitude is honest. It's EWG verified across the board. I haven't found a single Attitude product yet that is not EWG verified. So that's one of the brands that I have kind of in my mind of, okay, whatever scent I decide I want, it's still going to be pretty good for me. And I really like it. It does still bubble quite a bit, which is one thing that I like. I don't really want a non-bubbly shampoo just because I like it. It feels good. It makes me feel cleaner when my shampoo gets all bubbly. So I've been using that one and I really love it. Actually, to the point where I am thinking of throwing away my old bottle of shampoo that probably has maybe 2 inches of shampoo left at the bottom of it. Because I've been using that thing for, I'm not even kidding you, I think 2 years. And I'm so tired of it and I want it gone and I want to use the natural stuff. But the old bottle of shampoo is just taking way too long to use. So I caved and bought natural shampoo before my old one was out, which is very much not me. Usually I wait until my old product is done before I buy the natural one. But for the shampoo, I just wasn't patient enough, and that is okay. In terms of conditioner, though, I haven't actually found one that I love. Again, with conditioner, I have like 3 bottles in my shower, 2 of which are Aveda, which say they use natural ingredients, but they also have parfum in their product in their ingredients list. And unfortunately, Aveda is not one that EWG or Bobby have like analyzed. I guess I could use the Switch Naturals if you just take pictures of the
Yeah.
ingredients list.
Send me a picture of it. I can actually, if you send a picture too, I can just upload it into the app, which is also kind of a cool feature of that app. So send it to me. I'll
That's
check it out
awesome.
for you.
I will definitely have to do that. So I love Veda. I think it works really nicely. It smells really nice. But I know for a fact it's not the best thing in the world. So I have tried Avalon Organics for my for my conditioner, which is fine. I feel like my hair is a little bit more frizzy after I use it, and it takes so long to rinse out. Like, I usually am not one that accidentally leaves product in my hair, and then I get out of the shower and I'm like, oh, there's still conditioner in here. But with this Avalon Organics, I'm not even kidding you, that has happened to me probably 5 or 6 times since I got this bottle. And it's just one of those, I just have to like rinse it harder.
Have you looked up the ingredients of that one?
No, but I do know it's EWG verified.
Oh, because I feel like that stickiness to it, if it's sticking in your hair more, is typically a sign of like a paraben or something. But don't ask me. I'm obviously not any kind of expert. But
the only reason I got it was because it was EWG verified, and I was like, oh, it's good for me. And it smells really nice. I like it. It also, like, when I put it in my hair, it doesn't have that, like, silky smooth feel that conditioner usually has, which makes sense because it's all natural. But at the same time, I'm like, I kind of want my hair to be really silky smooth when I'm in the shower and then not greasy when I get out of the shower.
Yeah.
It's a complicated ask, truly. But anyways, I have yet to find a good conditioner. What do you use for body wash?
We use, what's the brand called? We just use bar soap also. What's that brand we were talking about recently?
Ibar?
No.
Attitude?
Dr.
Bronner's?
Yes, Dr. Bronner's. Thank you. They make all the other cleaning stuff too.
I was just going through all of the clean brands that I know.
Yes, Dr. Bronner's. So we use the Dr. Bronner's peppermint. We actually talked about this, remember? Because you were like, don't use the peppermint. And I was like, what? Why I use the peppermint? So we primarily use peppermint. We have, though, been trying some of the other scents. I don't even remember which ones recently, but we still always come back to the peppermint because I really like that one. We both really like it. So that's a win because we're both using the same one and it's easy. So what about you guys?
That's nice. Max and I both use the same one also. We use Dr. Bronner's, and we are in the middle of going through every single scent. We've gone through peppermint and almond, and Max has refused lavender because he says it's too girly. We are currently using tea tree, which is fine. I think almond is my favorite, but I think also the almond scent is like a natural fragrance rather than actual almond extract or something like that, unfortunately.
Interesting. Yeah, that's when you were saying all those, we've tried the tea tree, and I did kind of like that one, but then we had another bar of the peppermint, and I started it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I just like this so much better. So I didn't hate the tea tree, I just definitely loved the peppermint one. So
the only thing I don't like about the peppermint is it makes my skin feel prickly.
It's like waking everything up. That's how I feel.
I don't need that before I go to bed.
Okay, well, see, here's the difference. I typically shower in the morning.
Yeah, no, I almost never shower in the morning. Showers are a bedtime thing.
It makes sense. Honestly, I feel like in the summer, I take a lot more showers before bed, especially if I've been outside and sweaty all day. But in the winter, I like waking up and warming up and getting my hair all nice and stuff for the day. And that's typically how I do my routines.
Yeah, see, I just blow dry my hair at night before bed, and then it's still good in the morning.
Mine doesn't do that. I think my hair is really, really thin. I mean, you can tell this is literally one day of not showering at Chrissy. Nobody else can see this but you and I. But it gets all like flat and sticky together. And my friend today, she was so She's so cute. She came over and she's like, "Oh, did you get a haircut?" And I was like, "No, my hair is just greasy because I didn't shower this morning." And she was like, "Oh." And I'm like, "Yeah, it really looks so much different when I just don't shower. It's so stupid."
Oops. Hate when that happens.
I know. Okay, what
Okay,
about...
what are you using for lotion?
Yeah, that's what I was just about to ask you that too. Lotions, I actually have typically been using, I have a couple things because lotions is the one thing I really love, and I have a bunch of different kinds. So I have like a tallow based kind of body cream. It smells really good. I actually had a friend in Colorado who was making homemade whipped tallow cream stuff, and it's all with organic essential oils and whatever her combination of oils, it smells to me like cake batter, and it just smells so delicious, like I want to eat it. And so I use that a lot. I've also been using just like an almond oil, like a plain or like organic almond oil, and I love that, especially after I've shaved. It just feels very hydrating to my legs. And then for like actual lotion, I've been using a bottle from Just Ingredients, and I believe that one is like across the board pretty clean from like Bobby and EWG, but I've had it for a while. It's a pretty big bottle and I use just a little bit at a time. And so I've had it for a bit, and I don't remember what the research was, but a lot of the stuff from that Just Ingredients brand is typically pretty good. So yeah, I tried it out. It's their vanilla scent. I really like it.
Yeah. I have not switched my lotions yet because I keep getting lotions as gifts,
Yeah.
and unless it's like I'll re-gift it or just throw it away if it is Bath and Body Works, but
Mm-hmm.
if it's something that's actually really expensive or really nice, like Aveda lotion is what I've been using recently, and I love it. It's their rosemary scent. It smells so yummy, and it feels really good on my skin, especially after I shave. But my problem is I only put lotion on right after I shave, and I don't shave that much. Maybe like once every other week, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah. Usually when Max looks at me, he's like, "Chrissy?" And
You're
I'm
a
like, "Okay."
Sasquatch.
He's like, "You're poking me." And I'm like, "Okay, sorry. I'll fix it tomorrow."
That's so
Because
funny.
I just don't like it. The whole process is such a long process that I just don't do it very often.
Yeah.
And then it takes me that much longer to go through my lotion, and I just can't throw it away. And I have a brand new Moroccan oil lotion in my drawer that's like the big size that I haven't started yet because it's taking me a year and a half to go through a regular size of this Aveda lotion.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm just going to be using the lotion that I have forever and ever, because unless somebody comes and raids my drawer and steals it and then gives me an excuse to buy Attitude or something else. I have actually at Abigail's wedding, our cousin got married last year in October, and at her wedding, her mom, Aunt Cindy, had some Attitude hand lotion, and she let me try it. It was really great. I loved it. It smells really nice. It absorbed really nicely into my skin. It was phenomenal. My sister also, I bought her a like tallow face moisturizer, like under eye cream thing. And then I stole it for a few days so I could use it after I gave it to her. And I like that one too, but I did give it back because I did indeed actually give it to her. So I should keep it in her hands, because it was a gift. But I do like that one. But then when I went back on Amazon to try to buy it again, it was no longer being sold on Amazon. So I don't know where to find it anymore.
That's weird.
I know. It's like, this product does not exist. And I was like, what? I bought it. So I don't know. Maybe I have to go to the original sellers of it.
That one is like just an under eye moisturizer. Do you use like other moisturizers or stuff like that?
Negative. My face is just my face. And this is why I'm so bad at this conversation, because I'm like, I use shampoo and conditioner and body wash. And that's it.
I'm pretty basic too, but I was thinking like, well, okay, I use some moisturizers. I actually just bought a new one recently and I'm trying to remember the brand of it. Oh, no. No, I was thinking it was going to be the Earthly Wellness brand, but that's actually I have a magnesium cream that I use like every night before bed. I wouldn't necessarily call that a personal care product. I guess you could call it a personal care product. It's
I would
more
say it is.
so for me, it's more so to help me sleep versus like I guess it's personal care to sleeping. I'm like, I don't know why I don't think it's like a personal care product, but I love this. Like,
Sleeping medicine.
yeah, it's just a magnesium kind of like body cream kind of stuff. And I originally bought it for Malachi to help him poop. So, because magnesium's also really good in helping you like go poop when you're constipated. So we originally got it for that, but it's also really good in helping you just relax and fall asleep. And so I tried it out a couple times and I love it. And I basically started using it every night. And I wouldn't say I need it to go to sleep, but I love it for like I love the way I love the sleep that I actually get at night when I'm using this magnesium cream. So that's from Earthly Wellness. But in all of that, I actually remembered the name of the brand of the moisturizer I just bought is from Ro Casa Organics. And they are a really awesome, clean brand. Some of their products tend to be more expensive. I'm trying out it's like their face cream that has frankincense oil in it. And so I want to try that. And I actually really like it. And fascinatingly enough, Malachi sometimes gets this red rash-like thing. It's just like dryness around his mouth, especially in the winter, because he gets really drooly and all this stuff. And he just is always wet around his face. So it gets kind of chapped. And I started using that kind of a little bit right around his mouth. And it's been helping heal up his like rash flakiness right there. So yeah, it's been working on him as well. But that one's from Ro Casa Organics. They have a lot of other personal care products there as well.
You said frankincense. It reminded me, my mom's friend uses jojoba oil with a little bit of frankincense oil in it, and she loves it. She uses that as her nighttime lotion cream thing that works really well for her. And she
I've
swears
heard those
by
are
it.
good
She's like, my
together.
wrinkles are gone.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been pleasantly surprised. I've tried a handful of different moisturizers. Pretty much whenever I've finished a moisturizer, I have tried a new one because I've tried a lot of different healthy, natural stuff. And I have never been super satisfied with any of them. But then like you, I'm like, okay, I just spent a bunch of money on this moisturizer and I want to use it up. So I'll use it up. And it's not like harming my skin. It just doesn't leave a satisfying feeling on it, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Yeah.
I'm trying this one and I'm like, this might be it. This might be like my moisturizer now. And I really like it. And yeah, I've used a handful of other ones that other people say are really good. And all of our different skin type is so different. So it makes sense that not everybody responds the same. So I recommend that, but who knows if it would work for everybody else's skin.
Yep, that makes sense. Now, to wash my face, I don't do this every day because I'm horrible about it, but most days I do. I will use really just Garnier micellar cleansing water. I feel like that's really clean, even though it is Garnier, which isn't known for being a clean brand. Micellar cleansing water is kind of just a simple little water cleanse, essentially. That I think it does a really good job at getting the dirt out of my face, especially like around my nose where I have a little bit of blackheads. If I rub a little bit harder with that, it'll take care of those pretty well. So that's what I use, and it doesn't dry out my skin super a ton. Now, granted, there is a lot of humidity in North Carolina, not as much as Houston, but there's a decent amount here. And so it makes my skin less dry, but yeah. So
Hmm.
I like that. But
Is that
I just don't use lotion.
is that like witch's hazel? Do you know what that stuff is? Where it's like a
I think
natural cleansing agent?
it looks similar to witch hazel. It's probably like right next to it at CVS,
Mm-hmm.
if I were to remember correctly. But no, it's Garnier Micellar Cleansing Water.
Yeah, because witch hazel is basically water. And I remember I had to buy it before a surgery to clean my leg. This was my first like knee surgery years ago, and they
They
wanted
had
me
you buy
to.
witch hazel?
Yeah, it was so weird. So that's what I used to clean, like
Weird.
because I wasn't supposed to use body soap or anything, so they said to use that the
Yeah.
night before my surgery. But then they did like a whole clean down of me anyway. So I don't really understand it, but the only reason I have it again now in my medicine cabinet is because I made a homemade hand sanitizer and one of the ingredients was witch hazel. And so, but it looks like
Interesting.
water and it smells like water. So I'm like, I don't really know what this stuff is. So when you said water in your product, I was like, maybe it's a similar thing. I don't know.
I know. Okay, so micellar cleansing water, it looks like water. It does have a little bit of a smell to it.
Hmm.
Not a lot, but I have noticed, Garnier has multiple different kinds. It's like plumping and then normal and then for waterproof makeup and then for
Hmm.
all skin types. They do all make my skin feel different. So there is a difference to them, but I don't really know what it is. All I know is I like the yellow bottle. That's all I got.
Yes. Chrissy says, buy the yellow one.
Get the yellow one. I think it's the plumping one.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty basic when it comes to face wash. I actually don't wash my face every night. I never really have gotten into that habit, but I typically wash my face in the shower in the morning, and I typically just use my bar soap. I just put a little bit on my hands and just rub it around, and it's probably harsher than like a traditional face wash, maybe. I'm sure some skincare professional out there is like, don't do that. But it works for me, and I don't
The
really get
skincare
a lot of,
professional is screaming at me more so than you, probably.
I don't know. I guess I do use moisturizer. There you go. Skincare professional bonus for me.
Yeah. Now, the question is, does your moisturizer have SPF in it?
So I do have one that has SPF, but I'm not currently using that one at the very moment because it is so cloudy here in Michigan and there's like no sunshine or no anything right now that I just don't use it. But I use one in the summer and I could not tell you what brand it is because it was just a random cleanish one that I found on Amazon. And again, it's one that it's fine. It gets the job done enough. I don't know that I would be like, this is it. This is awesome. And everybody should get it. Yeah. But, and then the last thing that I had on my mind was just like chapsticks or like lip stuff. Do you use
yeah.
anything on your lips?
I do. I actually use Dr. Bronner's. Ever since I was on Accutane in high school, my lips have just been dry.
Oh,
I think that's just one of the side effects of it. They were incredibly dry while I was on the medication, but now it's just like a low level dryness kind of all the time. So I am religious about wearing chapstick and hand lotion to bed. And the chapstick, I actually just switched to Dr. Bronner's chapstick,
Hmm.
which I think has a beeswax base with essential oils in it. And I love it. It's great. It comes in 4 different scents. There's unscented peppermint, orange ginger, and lemon lime. I'm
Hmm.
currently working through the orange ginger, and I'm not even kidding. It's very gingery, which is kind of weird for chapstick. But
Yeah.
I think my favorite is the peppermint, honestly, for the chapstick. It doesn't tingle like the body
I
wash
was going to
does.
say it's not too spicy for your lips.
No, it's not too spicy. But if I don't have that one, then I will use Burt's Bees, because that one is also beeswax based instead of petroleum based, but it does have fragrance and flavors in it. So that's the downside of Burt's Bees. But if I were to choose like Burt's Bees versus chapstick, if I was traveling and had to grab something from the grocery store, I would go Burt's Bees all the way.
Yeah.
What about you?
Well, that area of my personal care is probably the least crunchy of all. And it was funny as I was thinking about this episode, I'm like, oh my gosh, all of the stuff I use on my lips is so bad. And I use so much of it, especially when we were in Colorado. I was notorious for always having some kind of chapstick thing in a pocket of my coat or in my purse and in my desk.
Every single coat has a chapstick in it.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
And I didn't really ever care what brand it was. And in fact, I always felt like I ended up with tons of free chapstick from something, like the little like branded ones that people hand out to you. And I would always take them because I would lose them all the time and I just use them all the time. And I have like never, ever finished a tube of chapstick. I just have always had so many. In fact, in our bathroom little drawer thing that I have them in, I probably have 6 of them. They're all different. And then in my desk drawer, I probably have at least 3. And then I have one in like every coat pocket. And then I have I have 2 in my purse. Actually 3, because this other one that my friend gave me, it's like this. It's apparently you can use it all over your body. I don't even know what it is. I haven't looked at it since she gave it to me, but it's also like a chapsticky thing. Anyway, I have so much of it. And so I just never buy it. And I'm like, why would I spend money when I have like 18 of them everywhere? So
that's wild.
Yeah, I have all sorts of, I do have Burt's Bees and that typically tends to be my favorite, but I do have the chapstick brand as well. I also have that one, what's that one that used to come in an egg form, but they also make them now in... Yeah, that stuff I'm pretty sure is so bad, but I have that.
Those are horrible.
Yeah. So that area of my health and wellness is probably killing me, and it's probably the reason I'm going to die one day is from my chapstick. So, oh well. At least I saved money.
We're all going to die one day.
Yeah.
We're all going to die one way or another. So,
yep.
Might as well have a story with it.
Exactly. It was the chapstick.
I love it. That's so funny.
Well, okay.
All right. Well, anyways, as we are closing out this episode, we just want you guys to remember the wise words of Paul the Apostle when he said, "Whatever you do, whether you eat or drink, do it all for the glory of God." So as you are implementing these changes into your life, make sure you are doing it all for the glory of God, that it is not in vain, and that your health and wellness is truly glorifying the Lord. See you next time.